Welcome back to Garden Obsessed. Earlier this week, Jaret and I went out to the community garden plot and worked at getting a lot of our transplants planted in the ground. That represented about 20 or 70% of the garden. And later this week, I went and got the rest in. All right, I'm actually by myself at the community garden. I'll show you what we've got planted so far. I'm gonna try to get the rest of it in today. I have a couple of onion starts and seeds, beans, peas, carrots. I can't remember what else I brought, that might be it. But I'm gonna try to get all of that in today. So I'll show you what we have in the ground so far. So I've got my hot peppers up here. There's some habanero, sugar rush peach. There's a whole bunch of jalapenos. I've kind of got a little border of marigolds. And then we get into tomatoes. These are mostly paste tomatoes, and also some determinant, just red tomato types, like there's Early Girl, Celebrity, Scotia. Then over here we have some brassicas. So there are, I think, 6 broccoli and 6 cauliflower. I got a weed already. We had some rain. You can see all the little sprouts coming up, and this is a prevalent weed here. I can never get it to pull out very well, but while I'm here I'll do a little bit of weeding as well to keep on top of it. But moving down, then we have 4 peanut plants. So those are looking good. And then this is all space that I have to seed. Over in the next style here, we've got an eggplant. Then we have a Cape gooseberry, an Inca berry. Then we've got some squashes. This is a Table King acorn squash, a honeyboat delicata, a Benning's green tint patty pan, another Table King, a zucchini. This one's another patty pan, another honey boat delicata, and then I have some sweet peppers here. There's King of the North, Violet Sparkle. I think there's a bullnose in there. What else do we have? A Tolly Sweet, a Carmen, and a chocolate bell pepper. Then over on our last row here, we have, I think I planted 24 seed potatoes, and ended with a row of marigolds so I would know where we were. So I have this section still available, a little bit in front of this eggplant, and then that row that I showed you leading up to the peanuts. So I'm gonna get busy. Okay, so one thing that I'm doing is, see where we have all of these itty bitty baby weeds coming. I've just taken, I have a stirrup hoe here, and I've just kind of fluffed up and gone over where I'm gonna start seeding my seeds. And I'll show you here, like, this will get underneath them and just kind of cut them off. And it's hard to do one-handed, but this works really well on these baby weeds, and you get them before they get big and annoying to pull. So this is one of my favorite weeding tools. Okay, so far I've shoved in some onions at the beginning and middle of some rows, but if I haven't mentioned it before, onions are not my strong suit, so hopefully these things grow. But I've got about 6 square feet of tenderloin improved carrots planted here, and then another 6 square feet of scarlet nantes. I'm working on the dry beans now. So I just planted the Rockwell dry beans. There are about 10 square feet. I was able to fit 2.5 squares wide. And we're moving on to Black Valentine now. All right, I'm here getting some rutabagas planted, and I've been using my seeding square. So I'm using the blue circles, which is 4 per square feet for the rutabagas, and it was the same for the dry beans that I just planted. But what I'm doing for the rutabagas, I just used 1 seed per hole for the beans, but for something like rutabagas or carrots, I aim for 2 to 3 seeds per hole, and that's called multi-sowing, which is something that I first saw Charles Dowding do. I did it last year with the rutabagas and had awesome success. So if one of your seeds fails, then the other one will grow, and if you end up with 2, this is enough space that they'll just kind of grow together but apart, and this way you don't have to worry about thinning. There's nothing I hate more than thinning carrots. So it feels like a waste of seed to me, and it also, you know, it's tedious. So wherever I can avoid thinning seeds, that's what I want to do. So I have taken to this multi-sow method and I quite enjoy it. All right, those rutabagas are planted. We got 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10 square feet planted of those. And then I went ahead and planted 5 square feet of little marvel bush peas, which are 9 per square foot. All right, I am done for the day. So this is the plot. These 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Everything is now planted except for this little section between the marigolds and the onions. This is green beans here. We have 12 square feet of green beans. These are Antigua. And about 9 square feet of onions there. Or no, 6 square feet of onions. 6 square feet of onions there. And onions like scattered about. And we are done. So that little section, I haven't quite decided. I was going to put some dahlias out here. But I do have some more pepper plants at home. So I think I'll actually plant that with peppers. So that is the 2023 community garden plot. Woohoo! Okay, I am home now, but I just wanted to add a little note. I am trying to, assign a dollar value, I guess, this year to some of the gardening that we do, just for my own curiosity, regardless of, what anyone thinks it's worth. If it's worth doing, I get enjoyment out of it. I get exercise out of it. I get time with my partner and our stepkids out of it. So it's worth it to me. I already know that. But just curiosity, you get asked all the time, is it really worth it? Is it worth it to garden? So I'm trying to answer that question for myself, and part of that, I think the community garden is a great way for me to figure that out, because it's somewhere we go to. Like at home, I can't quantify the amount of time that I spend in my home garden. I'm out there every day, sometimes for 5 minutes, sometimes for 2 hours, but it's so consistent, it's hard to actually capture the amount of time that we're there. So for the community garden, it's a little easier. It's $40 for the plot. And with that $40, I have access to water and some inputs that they bring in, and someone tills my plot for me in the spring of every year. I think that's a tiny price to pay for what I get out of that plot. That first day that Jaret and I went, we spent about 3 hours there, and that was setting up our plots the way we wanted them and getting about 70% of the garden planted. It was most of our transplants, with the exception of I planted some onions on the second day that I went, and I do have some more pepper starts that I'm going to take out and fill out that last little section. And then the second day that I went alone, I got the rest of the garden planted, and that was all mostly seeds other than those onion starts. So that took me, I think it was a little under 3 hours, but we'll call that 3 hours too. So we're at 6 hours of input, and you know, the garden is basically done. Now it's maintenance, so it'll be things like weeding and watering for the most part, and then harvests. So I'll be sure to keep track of that all year, and maybe we'll do an update at the end of the season, along with that video series that I'm doing of, you know, how much we're harvesting and how much our produce is worth every month. So I hope you enjoyed that. I am happy that it's in. It was a little later than I would have liked, but you know, events and life and everything else, I still think we're gonna have a successful season, and I'm excited to show you as we go. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.